back with another hair revamp video. After 3 years and 40,000 views, I am back to show you guys how to revamp your old bundles. And obviously, we're doing color edition, duh. Today, we're working with hair from my hair company, Niaah's Boutique, and the hair was actually colored by me. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. This client got her hair from me about a year ago, and after she installed it, it's literally been sitting in a bag for like a year. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, is remove all the threads and get ready to head to the sink. This is what our hair is looking like after all the threads have been taken out. I'm just giving y'all a shake test so y'all can kind of see what it's giving before we get started. Along with the hair, my client also bought me a 4x4 closure that we got from the beauty supply. So we're also going to be coloring that as well. After all that, it's time to glove up, and the first step is going to be a bleach bath. So we're just going to be putting in some BW2 powder along with some 30 volume developer, and we're just going to mix that up together. Some people do measure their products out. I don't for this particular portion, but if you're looking for the type of consistency that you want it to give cake icing. Like I said before, we are going for an icing type of consistency because we will be mixing this with water. So I'm just tweaking my recipe a little bit, making sure that my consistency is where I want it before we add the boiling water in.
All the pretty girls involved with me, making pretty love to me pretty.
After you get the right consistency, you're going to add in your boiling water, and you're just going to mix it in slow because you want to make sure that you get all the lumps out. After everything is mixed, you're going to place your closure in, and as y'all can see, the water is already looking a little murky. I'm going to take a piece of foil and cover the top, and we're going to let that sit to the side for about 30 minutes. After getting your closure situated, you just want to clean your sink out, and of course we're going to be rinsing the hair before we do anything to it, only because, like I told y'all, it has been in a bag for like a year. So I wanted to make sure I washed off a little bit of those oils and excess product just so I can make sure my color took really evenly. The bundles have been rinsed and it has been 30 minutes, so let's take out our closure. After about 30 minutes, this is what it lifted to. I was trying to make sure that I didn't lift it too much, only because the color is going to be burgundy. I don't recommend you to process it super light, only because you may have a color imbalance somewhere and you don't want to dry your hair out. So we just hit it with a little 30 minutes, and this is what it's giving, and it was the perfect color for what we're going to be doing. Before we get into coloring and color correcting and things like that, we are going to shampoo our closure one time through, just because you want to make sure you got all the bleach out and everything like that. You don't want any surprises, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, before we color, please hear my warning. Saturate that closure beyond what you think it needs to be, only because red is one of the hardest colors to get out if you do get it on your lace, and it just makes the whole process easier. Now it's time for color, so I'm going to fill my sink with some hot water, and if y'all don't got project water like us, just use some boiling water and mix it with a little lukewarm, okay? The colors we're going to be using today are Crimson and Ruby Red by Adore. Crimson is going to be for our darker bundles, and we're going to use a splash of Ruby Red, and then for our money pieces, we will be using Ruby Red only. After you've put all your color in, please be sure to mix slowly, y'all, because if y'all keep watching, I start mixing like I ain't have no sense and color start going everywhere. So I would recommend putting a towel down or something, but we're using Adore, so the color will come out easily. Now for the bundles, I'm going to take all of my burgundy bundles and put them in there. There is one bundle that is a little bit lighter because we wanted it to be kind of two-tone, but since I lifted lighter, putting it all the same color wouldn't affect it at all. So we just throwing all of them in there together. I also wanted my closure to match my burgundy bundles, so I'm going to be putting them into this color as well. But as y'all can see, I just did a little strand test just to make sure nothing was bleeding, nothing was going on too crazy. So we're going to leave everything in the sink for maybe 15 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and show y'all what it's giving. 15 minutes later, we are back. Everything is looking really, really good. So I'm just going to take the scrunchies off the top of my bundles just so I can make sure the color is even all the way through. I didn't need any indentation marks or anything. So I'm just making sure that everything is to my liking. And then I'm going to go in with my dimming brush and just make sure everything is detangled and feeling okay. Now for the moment of truth. That closure, no bleeding. Y'all, I was so pleased with how everything turned out, and now it's time to get into the money piece. So we're just going to repeat that process, but this time we're only going to be using ruby red. Money pieces are done, so now it's time to shampoo and clean everything. Right here, as y'all can see, I'm just constantly putting that lace on my hand just to make sure I didn't miss anything and I didn't get any color on any lace or anything like that. Now, of course, I'm just going to shampoo everything. I did shampoo everything twice, and then we're just going to set it to the side for the conditioning treatment. Another helpful tip that I would like to recommend, while you do want to make sure that you're massaging the hair thoroughly, getting everything out, no product or anything left inside of your bundles, please do not shampoo these bundles like you would shampoo your real hair. Otherwise, you're going to have a tangled mess. So just make sure you're doing more massaging motions, rubbing your hands from the top of the weft all the way down to the ends versus just going in there and scrubbing. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of tangling. Once again, here is our lace after our shampoo session. And when I say we ate that, we ate that, sister. Now I'm just going to finish shampooing all the rest of my bundles, and then we're going to get started with the deep conditioning treatment to bring these bundles back. If you're wondering why I'm constantly taking rubber bands off, putting rubber bands on, and things of that nature, I just like to separate my bundles just so I can make sure I'm not having any tangling anywhere for any reason, because sometimes when you put that hair in that hot water, it can create a mess. So I just like to do it just to make sure everything is nice and put together. Now for the magic, you're going to need some silicone mix and your favorite leave-in conditioner, and you're also going to need a Fiesta Walmart sack or any type of grocery bag of your choice. First thing that I did was take my bag, make sure it's open, and you're going to put just a little bit of water in there before you start putting your bundles in. Now, normally I would mix these together in a bowl, and I don't know why I didn't, but I just take my leave-in conditioner and my silicone mix, and I saturate my bundles really, really heavily. Not so heavily that they're like overly weighed down, but I like to make sure that I have enough products all the way through. This is not makeup, and a little bit does not go a long way when it comes to these products. Also, because we did just color the hair, I would recommend using a bowl, but because most of my products were almost empty and I was only using them for this video, we're just going to do it straight out the container.
I'm outside in an energy.
After all your bundles have been coated and set in a bag, I am going to take a bowl, put a little bit of lukewarm water in it, followed by some boiling water. You don't want your water to be too hot that you can't operate or manipulate it, but you do want it to be warm. I'm taking my favorite lightweight oil from 3G Essentials. This is the lengthening oil, and I'm just applying a nice amount all over the bag. Next, of course, we're going to tie it up, and you're going to shake what your mama gave you, okay? Get it shaking. I did feel like my bag was a little bit too thin. I don't know. Fiesta bags and Walmart bags, they don't have the same thickness. So I did decide to double my bag up just so I could make sure that my bag didn't melt or anything crazy. Because even with adding that lukewarm water, y'all, that water was so hot. Next, of course, we're just going to cover it up for 30 minutes, then give it a nice rinse, and this is what it was looking like after. I did allow everything to air dry overnight, and I did want to show you guys my client with the hair installed in her head. This is before any product, any styling. This is install only, and just look at that body, y'all. We really ate that up. Here's a side-by-side profile of the before and after, just so you guys can see exactly how we did it with no products or anything extra added. But that's all for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.